everyone, welcome to my channel Lifestyle by Nahama. I'm super excited to have you here today. Today is a very, very special day for me because it's the first day of October, Halloween month. I'm so excited, can't you tell? So for my first Halloween video, I want to go over some of my favorite Halloween movies with you guys. So here we go. So the first movie I want to talk about today is Bram Stoker's Dracula. This movie originally came out in 1992 and was directed by Francis Ford Coppola. It is of course adapted from Bram Stoker's 1897 book by the same name, Dracula. So this movie is about a centuries-old vampire, Count Dracula, who comes to England to seduce a man's fiancée and inflict havoc on the foreign land. So if you have not seen this, you should definitely see this. It grossed over $215 million, and at the Academy Awards, it got Best Costume Design, Sound Effects Editing, Makeup, and Art Direction. And the awesome thing about it is you could tell in this movie that Francis Ford Coppola really absolutely loved the original Bram Stoker's Dracula. Now, Winona Ryder, who was in the movie, actually brought the screenplay to Francis Ford Coppola, and he was so excited he knew that he had to do it. So his love for the movie is definitely put into this, for the book is put into this, and you can see that through the cinematography, which is part of the reason why the Academy Awards honored them so well for that one. Here is the movie poster. My second favorite movie is Carrie. Now this is the original one that was released in 1974. It was directed by Brian De Palma, and it was adapted by Stephen King's 1974 book, also by the same name, Carrie. Stephen King can do no wrong there, right? This movie is about Sissy Spacek, who plays Carrie White, who is a 16-year-old and constantly mocked and bullied at school. Her peers are unaware that she possesses telekinetic powers. So what teenage kid doesn't like that, right? This movie grossed over $33.8 million in the box office and was nominated in the 49th Academy Awards for Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress, as well as some other accolades from other movie award companies. This movie, I think, is such a good movie because so many of us girls definitely understand the bullying and the stress of high school and the general teenage angst. And so this one, I think, is just a really good movie to kind of remind us of those pressures and the fact that who would not like telekinetic powers to like slay anybody who's mean to them, right? Like that would just be amazing. So if you have not seen this, please make sure to do so. And here is the movie poster for Carrie. My next favorite movie I have a very long history with, and this movie is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Now, it is not a scary movie by any means, but it is definitely something that's super fun. The soundtrack is great. Everybody knows all the songs, all the dances, and this movie came out in 1975 and was directed by Jim Sherman. And in 1973, there was actually a stage musical that was also called Rocky Horror Picture Show, and so the movie is an adaptation of that. And it's about a young couple whose car breaks down in the rain near a castle where they seek a telephone to call for help. The castle or country home is occupied by strangers in elaborate costumes celebrating an annual convention. They discover the head of the house is Dr. Frankenfurter, an apparently mad scientist who actually is an alien transvestite who creates a living muscle man in his laboratory. The couple are seduced separately by the mad scientist and eventually released by servants who take control. So this movie is actually so much fun. Some places do like the midnight showing, and so you can go and watch that. And not only that, but if you've been to Rocky Horror Picture Shows before, you'll know there's always like lines, and they'll throw popcorn at the screen, and it's just so much fun. And when I was in high school, I loved this movie so much that I actually convinced my parents to let me play Janet at the theater. And so my friends and I would go and play, and I, of course, had all the costumes, and it was just so much fun. So this movie definitely has a special place in my heart, not only because I think the music and the movie is great, but it's also one of my early acting experiences. Not that I'm an actress by any means, but it let me dabble in it some, and so it was a lot of fun. So here is that movie poster. The next movie that I never miss every Halloween is definitely Hocus Pocus. Now, if you don't know about Hocus Pocus, you need to get a TV because it's on all the time. And the interesting thing about Hocus Pocus was when it was originally released, it was not a big hit. The way that it actually became such a cult classic is because every year since its release, it's actually grown in sales, whether that's DVD or downloads. And the reason for that is when one of the TV networks started doing the 31 Days of Halloween, it became a staple there. And so because of that and it getting shown in so many homes, it actually grew to a cult classic. Now, Hocus Pocus was directed by Kenny Ortega, and it is a curious youngster moves to Salem where he struggles to fit in before awakening a trio of diabolical witches that were executed in the 17th century. So when this movie first was released, it only grossed $39.5 million. So it's actually really small for that. And the song, I Put a Spell on You, written by Screaming Jay Hawkins, is one of the most famous Halloween songs now. So anytime that you go and you download like Halloween on your Pandora or things like that, it's actually one of the top songs. I downloaded, I think it was like 100 spooky songs for Halloween one year when we were going to do some pumpkin carving with the family, and that was definitely in there. So anytime you have a Halloween collection of songs, that song will always be in there. So just in case you haven't seen it yet, here's the movie poster to check out. So in 1993, another famous Halloween movie that was released was The Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, most people think Tim Burton directed this movie, but it was actually conceived by him and directed by Henry Selick and was released in 1993. It tells the story of Jack Skellington, the king of Halloween Town, who stumbles through a portal to Christmas Town and becomes obsessed with celebrating the holiday. When it was first released, it grossed $89.1 million. It was nominated by the Academy Awards for Best Visual Effects. And I think that this has been since the 90s. Any of us who were born then and it came out when we were kids, I think this has been a staple for us. And so I know it's a staple in our homes still because I definitely let my kiddo watch this all the time. She's been begging for it at least once a day over the last couple of weeks, knowing that Halloween is coming. And here's something really cool that I want to share with you guys. So Build-A-Bear actually has a Jack Skellington and Sally set. You, of course, can purchase them individually or together. And the neat thing about them is not only do they come with the bear, they come with their outfits, and then they also come with their songs included. So it was a little pricey, but it is a whole thing, and it's super cool. So I'll link that down below. So here's the movie poster for Nightmare Before Christmas. Another favorite of mine is The Addams Family. Now this is the one that was originally released in 1991. This one was directed by Barry Sonnenfeld. I don't know if I pronounced that last name right, so please do excuse me. It's based on cartoon characters from cartoonist Charles Addams and the 1964 TV series. So this movie is a remake of a cartoon and a TV show. The film focuses on bizarre Maccabee aristocratic, I don't know why I can't say that word, aristocratic, right? Family who reconnected with who they believe to be a long lost relative, Gomez's brother, Fester Addams, who is actually the adopted son of a loan shark intended to swindle the Addams clan out of their last wealth and fortune. Now, this movie actually had a huge grossing at the box office. It came out to $191.5 million for this movie. and the Horror Hall of Fame in 1991 named it the best horror film of the year. Of the year. I mean, that's incredible to have something like that. And it's a dark comedy with a little bit of supernatural in there. And my favorite are always Wednesday and Pugsley. The things that they come up with are so creative and dangerous at the same time. And so periodically I feel like I live vicariously through them, because it's like, I want to play with a guillotine, right? Like, who doesn't? You know, all these fun things that they would do, setting off fireworks, hitting each other with stuff. I mean, it was really cool. So if you're into some of the more darker comedies, definitely make sure you check out the Addams Family and this movie poster. And last but not least, one of my favorite Halloween movies is, of course, Beetlejuice, right? You can't forget Beetlejuice. This movie was released in 1988, directed by Tim Burton once again, right? Like, he is so great with movies, and not only that, but absolutely love the horror side of things that he brings. So could not pass up Beetlejuice. And this movie is about a recently deceased couple who becomes ghosts haunting their former home, and an obnoxious, devious poltergeist named Beetlejuice from the netherworld who tries to scare away the new inhabitants. So this movie grossed $74.2 million at the box office, and got my little notes on my cheat sheet here, and it was awarded the 61st Academy Awards Best Makeup Award. So I think that's really cool. If you haven't seen Beetlejuice, the reason I like it is not only is it that it's super kooky, and it's got lots of strange creatures, and it goes through like the nether realm and here and all of that, and of course it's another Tim Burton film. But I think the fact that Michael Keaton did such a good job with Beetlejuice, I will never, ever, ever be able to see anybody else be Beetlejuice ever again. So, if you want to check that movie out, if you haven't seen it yet, here's the movie poster. So thanks so much for watching my favorite Halloween movies video. I really hope that you like it. And I know that there are so many more Halloween movies out there, so please put in the comments your favorites. Make sure you also subscribe to my channel and like this video, and get ready for lots of Halloween!